Namaste and welcome. It is Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com, and today we're speaking about why fulfilling your desires can never lead to happiness, to complete happiness, right? So, this is the predicament of human life, because we are constantly chasing after something. There's always just once I get this, then I'll be happy. Once I get this, then I'll be happy. And then you get that thing, and then again, there's another thing that takes its place. Once I get that, then I'll be happy, okay? So what I want to speak to you about today is about the nature of desire, why fulfilling desires will not make you happy, and what to do about it. Okay, so we're going to cover that as well. Okay, so before we begin, I just want to say that if you are new to this channel, then I have got a gift for you, okay? So for my coaching clients, I've created something really cool called the Peace Cheat Sheet, the 11 yogic rules for daily peace. These are essentially based on the principles of yoga, 11 simple rules that if you apply even one of them, even a few of them, you can instantly increase the amount of peace that you feel every single day, okay? So it's something really cool you can have on your phone. You can get it at meditatewithrishi.com/cheat sheet. I will link it below. Apart from that, let's talk about the nature of desire, okay? So look, I'll just put it out there. Very simply, the nature of desire, which we often learn quite late if we do at all, is that desire, the nature of desire is that the very act of fulfilling a desire multiplies it. The very act of fulfilling a desire multiplies it. So we think that if I just fulfill this desire, I'll be satisfied and that's all. But actually what happens is we fulfill the desire and then many new desires rise to take its place. So I'll give you a couple of examples. You can relate this to your own life as well. It's very easy to see this in addictive substances, but actually everything is like this, okay? So let's take smoking. Smoking, nicotine, one of the most addicted substances on the planet. I should know, I've smoked for a very long time and was finally able to quit last year. So the smoker thinks that he just needs or she just needs one more cigarette and then they'll be fine, okay? So they go out and they have this cigarette and they feel good. And they feel like, wow, what a relief. And just an hour or 2 hours later, again the craving strikes. And again, it's like, okay, I just need to have this cigarette and then I'll be good, right? And this cycle continues, it just continues. And what actually happens is the amount of nicotine that is required to satisfy the craving keeps on increasing. So initially, first of all, you have to force yourself to like smoking. Nobody likes smoking when they start. You force yourself to like smoking. Nicotine floods your body, and then it leaves, it starts to leave. This is nicotine withdrawal. This is when you feel a craving for a cigarette. And then essentially you have a cigarette and you replace the nicotine, right? But this amount needs to increase. So you need to have more and more cigarettes just to feel the same satisfaction you used to feel. So that's how you go from having, one cigarette to 2 or 3 cigarettes to 5 to 10 to 15 and 20. Some people even have 40 a day, right? So do you see what I mean? The desire just keeps increasing. Even though you think the next cigarette's going to take it away, it's just one more, just one more puff, right? So that's okay. That's an addictive substance. This clearly demonstrates how desires actually work. Now let's look at something more practical, more everyday. Money, okay? Money works in exactly the same way. So let's say, you are somebody that is just early on in your career, okay? You say that I want to earn £50,000 per year. and you work hard, you get a degree, and you manage to land a job that pays £50,000 a year. And initially you're like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I have so much more money. This is all I need. Like I'm good. And then maybe, you know, you go out with your friends to celebrate, and one of your friends tells you that he's got a promotion and he's now earning £100,000 per year. And all of a sudden, jealousy creeps in. Jealousy creeps in, right? And you say, oh no, like I need to be earning that, right? So all of a sudden, you know, you work so hard to get to the 50, but now because somebody else is earning 100, they maybe have a few more flashy things than you. You want that 100, right? You want that 100, and this becomes the new driving force of your life. And you go toward that 100K mark. And let's say the next 2 or 3 years, or maybe 5 years, you work really hard and you land yourself a promotion, you get to the 100K mark. And again, this feels incredible. You're like, okay, 100K, I'm now earning more than the average in the world, right? I'm part of, essentially, I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm part of, you know, the top 10%, 5% in the world. And you say to yourself that, okay, this is it, I've made it, right? And your boss calls you home for a celebratory dinner. And you go to his home and you see that, wow, he lives in £1 million house. He lives in £1 million house. This is it. This is the life. This is what I want. Now if I just get this, then I'll have made it, right? So first it was 50, then it's 100, now it's £1 million house. And this never stops, by the way, right? You think of billionaires. Do you think that when they've reached the billion mark, they're like, okay, I'm done? No, it just continues. This is the nature of desire. Fulfilling one desire means that many more will spring up, okay? Now you're probably thinking, so what? So what do I do then? Do I just stop? Do I just sit and do nothing, right? So this is where it's important to understand, you know, like a lot of people, spirituality doesn't mean that you say no to life, okay? Spirituality doesn't mean saying no to life. So I'm not saying that growth is a bad thing. Actually, saying growth is a bad thing because the nature of the law of the universe, one of the fundamental laws of the universe is growth. This is why you want to grow as a human being. As a human being, if you're not growing, if you're not progressing, you're not really going to be happy, whether that's spiritually or materially, right? But even what you are, if we look at, you know, purely from a spiritual perspective, you are that pure awareness, that pure consciousness. Even consciousness, its all nature is to expand. So if you're not expanding, you're going against the nature, so you have to expand. So I'm not saying that desire is a bad thing, of course not. What I am saying is it's the perspective that we have, right? So we go around with the perspective that my happiness will come from fulfilling the desire. And that's the mistake that we make. Happiness doesn't come from fulfilling the desire. You first become happy, then you can fulfill any desire that you want. Happiness does not come from fulfilling the desire. That's just a temporary pleasure. In fact, to actually expand and do well, you need to be happy first. You become happy first, and then you can meet all your goals, and then you can fulfill all your desires, right? So the real question is that how do you actually go about this then? How do you have goals, right? How do you have like solid goals that you are going after as a human being, but yet be detached? And know that happiness is not going to come from them, right? So this is something really, really important. This is what I'm going to cover in tomorrow's video, where we speak about, you know, if you are somebody that's on the spiritual path, how do you have material goals on the spiritual path? How does it work? How do you put these two things together? What is the lens? What is the perspective that you should have? And when you watch that video, it will really clear things up for you and give you a lot of perspective, okay? So the point of this video was that fulfilling desires doesn't lead to happiness. This is the mistake that we make, right? I'm not saying that desires are bad. This is needed for growth. And we have to keep growing. We have to keep growing. But we can't look at it in the way that, oh, I need to fulfill this desire in order to be happy. No, you be happy first, and then you grow. You go and do everything that you want to do, but you be happy first because you're already complete. You're already complete, right? So this is the takeaway from today's video. In tomorrow's video, we're going to look at how can you actually have material goals even if you are really, really serious on the spiritual path, right? How do you bring these two together? So we'll discuss that tomorrow. So that is it. Thank you very much for listening today. Namaste.